Well, guys, here we are. 2019 is finally over. Today is New Year's Eve, the final day of 2019. And what a year it has been. I want to start off this video by saying thank you to every single person that has watched one of my videos in 2019, subscribed to my channel in 2019, or given a video a thumbs up in 2019. All those things really helped out a lot, and you made my 2019 really what it is. This year has been a tremendous year for my channel. Arguably one of the best years I've ever had, not from a view standpoint, not from a money standpoint, but from the opportunities that I've been able to have this year. It's been a phenomenal year. So in this video, I kind of want to do a year in review of both memorable moments from my channel and also memorable moments, bodybuilding news of 2019. So starting out, I think you kind of got to start with the Arnold Classic. The Arnold Classic was in March of 2019, and probably my best Arnold ever. The best Arnold experience I've ever had. This year was a very unique year for me at the Arnold. I had the opportunity to interview Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, that was very cool for me because, number one, I've never even met Arnold. I've never even been in the same room as the guy. So it was very, very cool to finally, get to talk to him and get to actually meet him, get my picture taken with him. And I did that through doing the commentary for the Arnold Classic. Now, that was a pretty fun gig, and I've really got to thank Aaron Singerman for hooking me up with that opportunity because Aaron and Redcon, they were the ones that purchased the rights, essentially, to the live stream coverage of the Arnold Classic. So basically, if you didn't know how that works, it's kind of like a bidding system. So the highest bidder essentially becomes the sponsor of the live stream, or the person who gets to host the live stream on their site, because the traffic of people that would be coming to watch the Arnold online would be traffic that would go to that site. So it's kind of a competition of who gets to do the live stream every year. So Aaron and Redcon got that, and Aaron asked me to do the commentary with him and Bob Ciccarello. So we did the commentary, and one of the biggest perks of doing that commentary was getting to meet and interview Arnold. So that, to me, was really one of the highlights of my year. It's something I'll never forget, and it's something that'll probably make 2019 one of the most memorable years of my life. So I want to thank Aaron again for that. It meant the world to me to be able to do that. And again, it's just something I'm never going to forget, and made this year just absolutely incredible. To me, that was like the biggest moment on my channel. There's a ton of videos if you haven't seen them. I posted the full video of the commentary and a backstage vlog of actually meeting Arnold and what the backstage area looks like at the Arnold Classic, because not a whole lot of people get to go back there. And it was very, very cool. So fast forwarding from the Arnold Classic, the Indy Pro this year was also very, very cool. And the Indy Pro, coincidentally, was where I ended up meeting my current girlfriend. So the Indy Pro, obviously held in Indianapolis, Indiana. I believe this is the second year they've had the Indy Pro. So it's not too far away from me. So it's a show that I like to go to now because it's kind of close by. It's a quick drive. I believe it's about the same distance as the Arnold is from where I live. So it's a pretty decent show to go to. The Indy Pro was fun. I met my girlfriend there. Steve Kuklo won that show. That was a great show as well. So that was another highlight of 2019 for me. I got to hang out with my buddy Hector Mendoza. He's a photographer for MD. We hang out at whatever shows we are going to at the same time, and the Indy Pro happened to be one of them. So he was actually there when I met my current girlfriend. So that was cool. Another thing I wanted to reflect on was in 2019, there was a local police officer here. And he passed away in a tragic traffic stop accident. And he actually coincidentally turned out to be a police officer that watched my channel. He was a subscriber to my channel. So I was watching the news, and when I saw that he was in this accident, they said the name of the officer, and I was like, wait a minute, that guy has sent me an email before. So I went back through my emails, and I searched the name of this officer. It was Dale Woods, and I searched that name, and sure enough, that police officer from that police station, from that department, had sent me an email. Maybe it was 6 months prior to this accident, just talking about how much he enjoyed my channel and what a fan of the channel he was, and just that he realized that we were both from the same area and that he would like to meet up sometime, talk bodybuilding. So this officer, Dale Woods, he was in this accident, and when it was first reported, he was in a coma. So the idea was he was going to be able to pull through this coma and possibly be fine. So when I heard about this story, I said, man, this is just too big of a coincidence for me to not do something for this guy. And again, I thought he was going to be able to pull through. So what I did was I asked a bunch of pro bodybuilders. I sent messages and DMs and emails to a bunch of pro bodybuilders because Dale was a fan of bodybuilding. And I said, hey, could you record a video for me to put together a compilation for Dale when he gets out of this coma while he's in the hospital recovering? he can watch these videos of all these pro bodybuilders that he's a fan of, you know, giving him well wishes. I thought that would be a cool thing to do. So I got all these major pro bodybuilders, Sean Roden, Jay Cutler, Kai Green, everybody, pretty much everybody sent in a video for Dale Woods. Then once I got all these videos in, Dale actually passed away. So I posted that video anyway in memory of Dale, all these pro bodybuilders that Dale looked up to, you know, wishing him well and hoping him to have a speedy recovery. So I posted that video, and that video actually ended up making the news here in Cincinnati, where I'm from. And that was something that was, it was cool for me to see Dale get recognized in that way, to see all these pro bodybuilders from all around the world, you know, giving Dale the respect because he's a police officer. He obviously had this accident in the line of duty. That was a cool part. But when they put it on the news, it kind of gave a very positive spotlight to bodybuilding. All these bodybuilders that didn't know Dale going out of their way to, you know, say all these positive things to him. It put bodybuilding in a very positive light. When bodybuilding is typically featured on the news, typically it's in a negative way. There's a negative spin on it. So I thought that was a very cool moment for bodybuilding, and a very cool moment for me to be a part of. And I just really wish that Dale could have pulled through and seen that video, because I think he would have loved it based on the email he sent me. He's a massive fan of bodybuilding, a massive fan of pro bodybuilding, and he loved hearing the bodybuilding stories that I told on this channel and the bodybuilding news that I covered on this channel. I'm just really sad that he was not able to see that video. If you haven't seen it, it's up on the channel still. I believe it's just in memory of Dale Woods. So that was a very big moment of 2019 for me, and something that I'll probably never forget as well. Just when I heard that name on the news, and I made that connection that it was the same guy that was a fan that sent me an email. It was just a moment that I'll never forget. I can remember sitting there on the couch in my old apartment when that story came on the news. I was like, could this really be that same guy? It was just one of those moments where I was like, man, this sucks. This really sucks. But I was happy to be able to put that video together for Dale. I just really wish he could have seen it. So that was a big moment of 2019 for me. Let's talk about the Olympia. 2019 Olympia in bodybuilding news was probably one of the biggest bodybuilding stories of 2019. You had a new Mr. Olympia this year, Brandon Curry. You had Hadi Chupin competing at his first ever Olympia, doing very, very well. Even though he took third, a lot of people made the argument that Hadi should have won that Olympia based on conditioning. He was, you can make the argument, one of the most conditioned guys on stage. So we did have a new Mr. Olympia this year. It was controversial. Obviously, you had Sean Roden, noticeably absent from the 2019 Mr. Olympia. Sean Roden, your 2018 Mr. Olympia champion, was not eligible to compete at the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And the reason for that was the big Sean Roden story of the year, which we don't have to get into yet because it's not resolved. But Sean Roden obviously was banned from competing at the Olympia because of this pending allegation against Sean. And actually, he's not going to be able to compete at next year's Mr. Olympia either, based on what we're seeing from the qualified competitor list. Sean's name is not on the 2020 Olympia list either. So Sean Roden had that big controversy, banned from the Olympia, wasn't able to compete, wasn't able to defend his title, and we had a new champion in Brandon Curry. And Brandon Curry, I've got to say this. A lot of people are knocking Brandon Curry, putting his physique down, but I do want to say Brandon Curry is one of the most humble and down-to-earth bodybuilders that I've ever met. He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I first met Brandon back in 2008 or 2009 at the Arnold Classic Expo when we were both a lot younger. Back then, I was probably 16 years old. Brandon was probably early 20s. But I met Brandon again at this year's Arnold Classic. And at this year's Arnold Classic, Brandon said to me, and this was before he won the Arnold and before he won the Olympia, Brandon said, "Hey, man, I watch your channel, and I really dig what you're doing over there. You always have consistent," I believe his words were, "consistent quality content." And when he told me that, and again, this was before he won, my mind was blown to have a pro bodybuilder of his caliber say that to me. And I was just like really thankful and really grateful and really honored that a pro bodybuilder watched my channel, and not only watched it, but like recognized me in person enough to say, "Hey, I really enjoy your content." And that was really cool to me. Then obviously after that, he won the Arnold Classic and then won the Olympia, which made it even more cool. And I want to get to that in a minute because at the Olympia, I met Brandon again. So typically before these big shows like the Arnold or the Olympia, there's like a meet and greet before the show. So the first time I met Brandon this year was at the meet and greet for the Arnold Classic. And then I went to the meet and greet for the Olympia as well in Vegas. So at that meet and greet, I met Brandon again, and I said, "Brandon, you're going to win the Olympia this year. I want to get a picture with you before you win. So I took this picture with Brandon that you can see here up on the screen. And that's literally what I said to Brandon when I walked up to him. I want to take a picture with you before you win the Olympia. Sure enough, later that night, or I think it was the next day maybe, he won the Olympia. So that was awesome. And at the Olympia, another cool thing. I had my own booth at the expo for the first time at any expo. I've never had my own booth before, not with a company, not with a supplement company, not with a sponsor, just a big booth, Nick Strength and Power banner, just to meet and greet with the fans. So that was very cool as well. So I got to meet hundreds, if not thousands of people at this Olympia Expo, and that was the coolest part of the Olympia Expo for me, was meeting and greeting people. But one of the cool things as well was Sean Roden. Not only was he not allowed to compete at the Mr. Olympia, he did not have a booth at the Mr. Olympia. So Sean Roden, at the time, this was before Brandon won, so he was still the reigning Mr. Olympia. Sean Roden shared my booth with me for a couple of hours to meet and greet his fans because he didn't have a booth. So Sean Roden was at the Nick Strength and Power booth for a couple of hours, and I did a really good interview with Sean Roden. It's up on the channel as well. That too was a highlight for me because interviews, people keep asking me to do interviews. Interviews just aren't really my thing. They don't really interest me. I'm sure I would be good at them. It just, to me, they're extremely tedious. It's not fun to me. It's fun to me to make the videos that I make, but doing interviews has just never been fun. And typically when people offer me an interview, the only reason they want to do an interview is because, hey, they want to promote this. They've got a book coming out. They've got a supplement they want to promote. They've got a clothing line. They've got this training program or that. So typically when people reach out to me for an interview, it's because they want something. They want publicity from that interview. And interviews to me just never have been fun. But that interview with Sean was a blast. It was an honor to interview Sean, and it was very, very cool for me to be able to interview a reigning Mr. Olympia at the time. That was a pretty cool moment of 2019 for me, was interviewing Sean Roden. So I appreciate that, Sean, if you're watching. That really helped make my year. So interviewed Sean at the Olympia. We're almost at 800,000 subscribers now. So my goal was actually to hit 1 million subscribers this year. So hopefully in 2020, we hit 1 million subscribers, because in 2018 to 2019, I think that was the biggest year ever of subscriber growth for my channel. I think I gained something like 400,000 plus subscribers in that year alone. So I was basing my future projections based on that number, the 400,000 plus a year. I was expecting to do 400,000 plus again this year, which just really was unrealistic because typically most channels don't grow at that rate. I believe I still did about 200,000 total subscribers this year. So that was still pretty good, but not where I was expecting to be. So hopefully in 2020, we'll hit another 200,000 and we'll get to that million sometime in 2020. But I do appreciate each and every single one of you guys that subscribe to my channel anyway, because it's not really the number that matters. Even though 1 million subscribers is this gigantic goal that I have in my head, it's something that I know it's just a number, but just that validation of YouTube saying, hey, here's your plaque for 1 million subscribers. You did something awesome. It's just a goal that I've had for a very long time, and I hope I hit 1 million at some point next year. That'd be pretty cool. So in addition to the 200,000 subscribers this year, we did 93.4 million total views in 2019. So not that shabby of a year. I think I have something like 360 million views total on my channel. So 93.4 million, almost 100 million views this year. Pretty cool. We also took a trip to Boca Raton, Florida, to visit the Redcon 1 headquarters. My first time ever visiting the Redcon headquarters. This year they got a brand new location, a much bigger, much better headquarters and warehouse. I want to thank Matt Sino, who showed me around. He gave me like the grand VIP tour. So shout out to Matt if you're watching this. That was very cool. Shout out to Aaron Singerman for flying me down there first class. Another cool moment of 2019. I've never flown first class before. I don't really fly that often to begin with. But first class was a cool experience for me because I really don't, spend the extra money on something like that. So it's cool for Aaron to fly me and my girlfriend down there first class. That was pretty cool. So I enjoyed that. The Redcon 1 gym was awesome. The Redcon 1 warehouse was awesome. The Redcon 1 headquarters was awesome. Everybody was super cool, super nice. Got to see Luke Sando out there. Luke's a great guy. Redcon 1 trip was awesome. The 2019 Mr. Golden Era, Philippe Dropulich, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Some people were criticizing the way that I pronounced it before. Philippe Dropulich won the 2019 Mr. Golden Era. So probably one of the biggest and most competitive lineups we've ever had at the Mr. Golden Era this year. I was very excited about it. I thought it was a great lineup. So that was a highlight of 2019 for me. So in addition to a new girlfriend, I also moved into this new location here. I bought a townhouse. So I live in this now. I lived in an apartment before with my ex-girlfriend. If you guys have watched some of my videos, you guys know that I was with my ex-girlfriend for over 10 years. I believe I was 15 when I started dating her. I'm 26 now. So I made the decision to end that relationship this year. And I lived in that apartment with her. I had that apartment with her for 2 years. I believe I got that apartment in 2017. So now I'm kind of starting a new journey here in this new location, this townhouse. And probably in 2020, I would think I'd be upgrading to an actual house. This is just kind of a last minute decision. When I moved out of that apartment, I decided it'd probably be best to, well, when I was moving out, or when I was breaking up with my girlfriend, I was intending to stay at that apartment with my girlfriend because I was still on the lease until December. So I was planning on staying in that apartment for the duration of that lease. But then as we got deeper into the breakup, I realized it was really a necessity for me to move out as quickly as possible. So the result of that decision to move out quickly was getting this townhouse, and that's how I ended up here. I'm happy here, though. I love it here. I got a brand new office here. This room is probably twice the size of the room that I had at the apartment that was dedicated to my office. So I've got basically in this place, I've got 2 master bedrooms basically. So this office is a pretty big room. It's the size of a master bedroom, and it's got a bathroom off to the side over here. You can't see it. I know I've been saying this for a long time, but I will be doing an office tour video. But I've got a bathroom in my office, which is great. The master bedroom's the same size bathroom in the master bedroom. It's got a base. I think this place is 1,600 square feet, and it's just me living here, so it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good arrangement for me. I'm not complaining, but I would like to actually own a house at some point. But I do have the 2 bedrooms, a great office space here. We've got a basement, a pretty big living space. We've got the kitchen, obviously, 2-car garage for both my Corvettes. 2020, another thing that I want to do is buy the new Corvette, but apparently it's sold out. The C8 Corvette pre-orders, apparently there's like 45 or 48,000 total pre-orders that you could, total allocations that you could order before 2020. And apparently GM has sold out of all those allocations. So I guess if you didn't pre-order, you're kind of screwed for getting a C8 Corvette in 2020. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But yeah, man, it's been a great 2019. I hope you guys have enjoyed this wild ride here on my channel. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And I'm not just saying that. I really do mean that, because you guys, the community on my channel is what makes this channel so special. The comment section, the interaction, the fact that you guys are fans of bodybuilding, you guys really shape the content that I put out, because you guys tell me what you do and don't want to see. You guys tell me what you do and don't find interesting. You guys said you wanted to see more bodybuilding history videos. I see those comments. I read those comments. I gave you guys more bodybuilding history videos. So you guys are what make this channel what it is. You guys give me the video suggestions. You guys send me stories. You guys send me video recommendations. You guys try to get me brand deals and collabs, and you guys tell me check this out, check that out. So you guys really shape the content on this channel and make it what it is. So I would not be here without you guys. I recognize that, and I want you guys to understand and realize, and I want you guys to know that I recognize how important the subscribers are to this channel. It's not me, Nick Strength and Power, even though my name's in the title. It's not just Nick. It's you guys too. You guys make this channel what it is. So keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and I hope you guys have a fantastic 2020 and a fantastic and safe New Year's tonight. As always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out for the last time in 2019.